quote. I feel like I'm coaching this year to play, not to win. Just trying to get there to play because of COVID and stuff.
This is QFS Transportation Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet on My TV Charleston.
For the high school football fan, no place you'd rather be. And if you're not here with us, then glad you're watching with us. A top 10 matchup in the 5A ranks, the highest classification of public school football in the state of South Carolina. The Fort Dorchester Patriots at 1-0, and the Dorman Cavaliers coming off their first win of the season. Welcome down field level alongside my good friend and the ABC News 4 main anchor, Dean Stevens. I'm Darren Goldwater. We've got two legendary coaches, although they wouldn't want you to say that to their face. We've got two teams that can light up the scoreboard, two perennial state championship contenders.
You talk about this field. Think about some of the players who have played on this field. NFL guys, right? Carlos Dunlap, Robert Quinn, John Simpson, the Carry-On Joyner played here, Byron Maxwell, more studs on display tonight here too.
It's not just the Patriots that'll roll out some dudes, as football coaches like to say. Dorman's got them too, particularly at the wideout spot, which is why Hudson Talley needs to be on his game tonight, the signal caller who will start for the Cavaliers.
When we talk about our players of the game, the guys we're going to watch, they're a pair of 15s. I know, in poker business, there's nothing about a pair of 15s. But tonight, number 15, Hudson Talley, he's thrown for a couple hundred yards in his first two games, 2 touchdowns. That first game against Clover, they were down a lot of players. And then you turn to number 15 for the Fort Dorchester Patriots, Zoltan Osborne. This is a guy who seems like he's been in the program for 10 years. It's only been 4. Played here his 8th grade year. Now is the guy here in his junior year. He threw for 300 yards last week and 3 touchdowns. That's what we're going to keep our eye on tonight.
Both coaches say both teams are struggling to run the football. Expect to see an aerial attack. Will it result in points? We'll see. QFS Transportation Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet, is coming your way next.
Get Red Hat on us.
Ready to go here from Fort Dorchester. Opening kickoff went into the end zone. Fort Dorchester will start from its 20-yard line. So that is why we will have Zoltan Osborne here. And not to kickoff. Osborne's a junior. He's about 30 pounds heavier. You'll see from watching him play tonight that he probably has some serious college ability. But to this point, no college offers. He pulls it out and dishes it on the edge here to Marion Mitchell, who slips through the first tackle, and Mitchell explodes down the sideline, caught from behind by DJ Porter, and the explosive Patriots down to the 32 of the Cavaliers.
You gotta love the play call on first down and the very first play of the game. The play action inside, throws it to the outside. Great balance by Mitchell, and away he goes. Fort Dorchester starts off with a bang.
It's going to go for 48 yards to Marion Mitchell. Mitchell's going to be in the backfield a little bit next to Osborne. He will be split out wide. This is Trey Ryan, who is in motion. Patriots coming off an impressive win over Carolina Forest. And this is one of the areas that Zoltan Osborne has improved upon, adding 30 pounds to that frame. His running ability picks up about 3.5.
But you notice on the first down play and then on this play, Dorman's defensive ends crashing down the line, and that allowed Osborne to make the call, keep it himself, pick up positive yardage.
Second down and 7 for the Patriots. Number 2 ranked team in the 5A poll here in South Carolina. Dorman is number 8. Had they not been upset in week 1, they probably would be even higher than that. This is one of the reasons. Their front 7 is loaded. Bo Roseboro, you'll hear a lot tonight. Hudson Lee, the other defensive end, he is going to be wreaking havoc as well.
Roseboro, very thorny. You saw the quickness on that first play of the game. He leads the team in tackles. I think he's got 19 so far through the first 2 games.
Patriots offense has been anchored by Davion Joyner. You will not see number 14 dressed out today for the Patriots, one of the inactives. Osborne will take a shot. This one drifts, and it is caught. That is Marion Mitchell sliding down to make the grab at the 5-yard line, a gain of 25.
Osborne had multiple opportunities to go to multiple receivers. He decided to go out wide, threw that ball before he even made his cut, and then Mitchell goes and gets it. Jumbo package coming in with Devin Geddes and DJ Watson, 2 of the defensive standouts. See if they open up some holes on 1st and goal.
Big 93. The defensive lineman had a rushing touchdown last week. 1st down and goal, they give it to him. Dorman's up to the task.
Number 93, Devin Geddes up the middle for the 40.
That was Cam Meadows, number 6. Transferred from Boiling Springs to Dorman, team that Dorman just beat last week.
The thing that stood out to me as I was looking through these rosters this week, I believe Dorman's got 8 players over 260 pounds. Fort Dorchester's got 9. A lot of these Friday night rival games, we don't see that kind of beef. But when you got 2 of the top programs in the state facing off, you're going to get plenty of beef.
Michael Smalls, the deep back. They'll throw the fade. A one-handed grab by Demetrius McKelvey. And the Patriots strike first. A 6-play, 80-yard drive.
2 plays before that, on the top of the screen, I saw McKelvey lined up against the DB. There was a mismatch height-wise. They finally go to it. One-handed grab. That'll be an interesting matchup to watch all night. McKelvey, quite simply, a stud.
Stud is the exact word that Steve LaPrade used to describe his receiver to me earlier today. Extra point is up and through. That's the start the Patriots were looking for against the Cavalier team that comes in at 1-1. It's a rematch of the 2015 state championship. They haven't played since. That's when Fort Dorchester beat them on a team that was led by Dacarrion Joyner. And as Dean pointed out earlier on the newscast on ABC News 4, the quarterback for Dorman that year was Colin Hill, who finished out his career with the South Carolina Gamecocks last year.
Hill went from Dorman to Colorado State, spent 3 years up there, had 3 different knee surgeries, finally ending up at USC. But Hill and Gutschall has just a great relationship dating back to when he was a 6th grader. And that is a picture that Hill framed and gave to Gutschall when his career was over. It's pretty cool. But you read up on the Dorman coach, you find out, I mean, he's in his 29th year at Dorman, but he's been going longer than that. And just a really interesting guy. I don't think a bad word has been spoken about him. And, you know, we do these games and we come into contact and create relationships with a lot of these coaches. We are certainly blessed to have some great ones down here in the Low Country. But reading up on Gutschall was really a pleasure just to hear how people talk about him. He's a member of the South Carolina Coaches Hall of Fame here in South Carolina, but he started out in North Carolina at some small schools there before coming over and crossing the border.
From the goal line, Kendall Norman. This is just his 2nd kick return of the year, and it will go for 20 yards. And the Cavaliers will start in the same spot, opposite end of the field, as the Patriots, as we get a chance to introduce you to Hudson Talley. Talley's thrown for a couple of touchdowns. He's only averaged 100 yards through 2 games, but that first game was an aberration. Dorman was not at full strength. And when you talk to David Gutschall, he'll tell you this is a very young team. He replaced virtually their entire offense. Bunch of juniors on that offensive line. Talley's the most experienced quarterback of 3, still competing for the job. We'll see 2 of them tonight. The 6'2 junior pulls it, and he gets one on the edge. This is DJ Porter, and Porter is upended immediately. Rashawn Springs, who's getting a bunch of college interest, no offers yet, there for the stop.
And this is why he's able to push off his defender and make the open field tackle. That's what college coaches want to see. How are you going to strip the defender and then get the tackle? And he did just that.
Gutschall told me if this offense will be successful tonight, it's because they can block this defensive line that Steve LaPrade has called one of his best. That's saying something. Geddes at the top of your screen on the defensive line, maybe one of the better defensive players in the state. A high throw to Norman, who reels it in and explodes out across the 40, a first down for the Cavaliers.
So what we've seen in the first 10 minutes of this football game, if you are a defensive back, you have got to make the stop at point of contact, because not, you're going to see a receiver bust one. Fort Dorchester did it on the first play of the game. And then Kendall Norman showed you his speed on his skates for positive yardage on a big play on 3rd down.
The advantage that Dorman has, they can get the ball out quickly because of their playmakers. There's a trio of receivers. First down and 10. There's 93 Geddes. He's joined by Jaden Profit in the backfield. The 2nd lost yardage play for this Fort Dorchester defense in 3 plays.
Profit stood him up. Geddes took care of the rest.
We've got a flag in as well, so it's our first chance to introduce you to our officiating crew, led by Tommy Brush. Tommy does a lot of our games.
Personal foul, face masking against Fort Dorchester.
You ever get blowback from the referees not wanting you to share their names, just so in case Mr. Brush may miss one later in the game? Do they ever say, gentlemen, can I get your names? Do they ever go, no?
I've had to convince a few. So the penalty puts Dorman in Fort Dorchester territory out at the 43-yard line.
I know some of the coaches told you it's going to be a lot of passing. This game could take a while, but as long as they're completing them, we're going to be out of here pretty quick.
Yeah, that's the key, right? Off his back foot, that's out of play. DJ Porter was the man in the area. Kenny Tucker was the corner in coverage at 2nd down.
Talley got pressure up the middle. Wasn't able to set his feet and deliver that ball. Just, I would say, hoping to get it out of bounds and reset at 2nd down.
So they've run 4 plays. 2 of them, even though one doesn't count because of the penalty, but we're going to count it for this, have had Fort Dorchester players in the backfield. The defensive line has made its presence felt already. 2nd down and 10. A shovel pass. Here's Will Black darting his way and lowering his shoulder close to a 1st down. And it'll depend on the spot. It's Malik Horlbeck, number 6, with the stop.
Really impressed with the play calling on both sides of the ball already in this first quarter. As you were just saying, all the pressure they were getting up the middle, Dorman recognizes it, let him come, the little shuttle pass, and Will Black picks up 9.5.
You know you got an amped up crowd when your high cameras are shaking. 3rd down and a yard, a high snap. Black will have the 1st down with his forward progress. That was Geddes wrapped around his legs. He was described to me by 2 different coaches.
Man.
He's a man. We got a flag in as well.
So Jaden Porter for Fort Dorchester was having a spirited conversation with one of the Dorman linemen. And the Dorman lineman then put his hands on him. Innocent enough right here. And that gets you a flag. I say let him play. I say you give him a warning. Nothing egregious about that, Darren.
Well, in 2 years, when Marquis Anderson is playing at the Power 5 level,
yes,
I don't know if he will be getting that flag or not.
No.
Marquis Anderson has offers from South Carolina and Virginia Tech. Ohio State starting to warm up on his trail as well. Number 58, who just picked up that penalty. One of the top offensive linemen in the state of South Carolina, as is number 68 on this Dorman line, DJ Geth, who plays both ways.
Imagine he'd be interested to know that Virginia Tech's leading North Carolina right now 14-0 in the 3rd quarter. Also have one of the assistant coaches from South Carolina on the sidelines scouting this game. I asked him if he was going to be able to enjoy an overnight stay over on Shem Creek, maybe down to the beach, get some nice food, enjoy the beach tomorrow. He said no. We have a game, and I'll be heading back as soon as this one's over.
Yeah, maybe we'll talk a little bit about that game. DJ Geddes. So we've been playing for about 5-6 minutes. We've called his name a few times. He's gotten some carries. He's a man. Another lost yardage play by 4.
Did a nice job of staying home. Didn't bite on the fake inside. And then the man tackle. I was talking to some Fort Dorchester personnel earlier, and she said that is my absolutely favorite guy on this team. Said just a 5-star guy. Pretty good football player, too.
LaPratt said he might be the best defensive player in the state. Talley's first option isn't there. Geddes pressures him. That's out of bounds. It'll be 3rd down and 14.
You take a look at this play again. His pocket was set for him. He did not have to move out. His offensive line did a nice job. Once he gets outside, that allows the defenders to give chase. He was a little quick to escape the pocket instead of going through his read transitions.
This will be the 7th play of the drive. Dorman advanced inside of the Patriots 40, but a personal foul backed him up. Gave him a fresh set of downs after the 1st down, but now 3rd down and 14, about halfway through the opening quarter.
See if they go conservative here or they go for money.
The pressure is picked up. That's a 1st down. Beautifully dropped in over the shoulder of Demarius Foster.
Yeah, they put the coin in the slot machine and went for the 1st down. They were not going to play it safe. Great wheel route out of the backfield. You saw Foster leave, burns the defenders down the sidelines, and back to where they started before that penalty. Great play calling already.
He's won 415 games, has David Gutschall. He's called a few.
It's pretty good.
These are 2 of the best programs in the state over the last 6 years as well. High throw brought in by Kendall Norman, and he was blanketed there by Rayshawn Springs.
I think Springs, for a split second, thought, do I go for the ball or do I go for the safe tackle? Because that ball hung up there for a while. I think he made the right call. Limit the damage to just 3 or 4 yards.
I had to double check the roster there. He's listed at 5'5". He is 5'5", Kendall Norman. I don't know what the vertical is to go up and get that.
Higher than ours.
That's a fact. 2nd and 7. They move the pocket for Talley, and this is the first one he misfires on badly. He wanted Rogers. Here comes another 3rd down for the Cavaliers.
Rogers came from the slot across the middle and just missed him. Keys to the game, very simple. It's a passing fancy on both sides, as we've seen already. But I think the key to the game is going to be a late turnover. Will it be the Dorman secondary with the pick, or will it be the Fort? Because I think this game's going deep into the 4th.
A couple of 3rd down conversions on this drive. That key to the game brought to you by Cruz Chevrolet. Cruz Chevrolet on Rivers, you got a friend in the car business. 3rd down and 7. They try the shuffle pass once again, and Black darts his way through the middle and through the secondary and into the end zone. A Cavaliers touchdown. Trident Technical College touchdown. Your future, your college, from 32 yards away.
2 huge 3rd down conversions on that drive. The second one results in a touchdown in a play that we've already seen, taking advantage of the aggressive defensive line of Fort Dorchester.
Unofficially, 10 plays, 80 yards, matching the 80-yard touchdown drive of the Patriots to open the game. This one took a little bit longer to accomplish. The extra point is there from Gibson, and we are locked. A possession apiece for 2 top 10 teams in the 5A classification, South Carolina. And with 4:44 to go in the opening quarter, we are tied at 7. You're watching QFS Transportation Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Alongside Dean Stevens, Darren Goldwater with you. We've got matching 80-yard drives. The Patriots took about 2.5 minutes off the clock. The Cavaliers about 4.5 minutes off the clock. Unofficially, I have Dorman for 3 third down conversions on that drive, including a couple of them that were 7 yards or longer. And a Cavaliers team that looked excellent, bouncing back from a Week 1 loss in last week's victory over Boiling Springs, has the answer after the Patriots looked pretty good, dicing them up in their opening drive.
Well, I think after, the challenge now is for both defensive coordinators to make adjustments. For Fort Dorchester, I think it's a bit easier. They got to see 10 plays. For the Cavaliers, they only saw 3 or 4.
Marion Mitchell took this one at the 6. He is untouched across the 40. He's down the sideline and into Dorman territory, and it's just a matter of where they mark him out. They're going to spot him all the way back at the 42-yard line.
36 yards on the return for Marion Mitchell.
Not going to go over well with the Fort Dorchester fans, why they lost 20 yards. But a great job right on the edge. I think that was Trey Ryan, who decided not to put the block on, didn't want the possibility of getting a block in the back. He let the guy go. Mitchell does the rest.
Zoltan Osborne connected for a 48-yard pass on the opening play from scrimmage, although it was mostly the legs of Marion Mitchell.
Top of the screen, Dorman changes defensive back on McKelvey.
They rush just 4. Pockets protected. The defender and the ball get there at the exact same time. Well played on the back end.
And I think well played by the officials not to throw a flag on that as well. I don't know if Osborne could have put it in a better place, maybe thrown it a tick quicker, but a great defensive play.
It is an adjustment for the Cavaliers. Part of their game plan likely centered around Davion Joyner, who's not playing. Osborne pulls, keeps, and lowers his shoulder, and might think twice about that one again. Bo Roseborough is there, as is number 43 to join with him, Brandon Teemer.
I think adding 15 pounds helped. Not a whole lot. You got 2 Cavaliers coming at you, but this is a kid who is on this varsity team as an 8th grader. Saw some playing time his freshman year, got a little more last year, and is the man this year.
Steve LaPrade said Osborne didn't take a single day off in the offseason. He was working on his speed training. He was working on his strength training. Now he's working on 3rd down and 8 with pressure coming at him. He's hit as he throws. It's complete to Amarian Green. He's dropped immediately, but it's a first down for the Patriots. Moni Weaver, a true freshman, most of them are in high school, is there in coverage.
I don't know if you can celebrate after a big tackle like that if the guy picks up 16 on you. But Green, really nice concentration, ball out in front of him. Doesn't have alligator's arms. Extends the hands, extends the arms, pulls in the catch, moves the chains.
Amarian Green, part of the Joyner family tree, a cousin of DeCarrion. Which is interesting because in the absence of Davion Joyner, as Steve LaPrade pointed out, don't worry, we still have the bloodlines on the field. Amarian Green makes his presence felt on a big 3rd down conversion. By the way, that first down, a Miller Mott College first down, proudly supporting Low Country high school sports.
Also on that completion, you saw the maturity of Osborne staying in the pocket. He had pressure coming from all sides. And as he released it, he got hit pretty good. But stayed in long enough to deliver the ball. And as you start to progress as a high school quarterback and as a leader, it's those extra workout sessions that's noticed by your teammates, that's noticed by your coaches, and that's where true leadership comes from.
I think you'll start seeing Zoltan Osborne's name pop up on some recruiting lists. COVID last year hurt him. Not that he had it, but the fact that he couldn't be seen.
They played, 7 games last year, I think?
And he couldn't camp. He couldn't go visit.
Right. Those 7-on-7s.
1st and 10. The line holds up. Wide open is Amarian Green. Pulling away at the 20. Tripped up from behind at the 10. Javen Bradley saves the touchdown. Another Miller Mott College first down for the Patriots.
Well, if you're wondering when this kid will be offered, this will raise eyebrows. This was just a zip across the middle. Had a crossing pattern between Green and Ryan. It puts it right on the money.
David Gutschall said he hopes his team, Dorman, is as good as Fort Dorchester is now at the end of the year. It's a young team. Their entire back 7 graduated last year. Linebackers and secondary, all brand new starters.
Fort Dorchester taking advantage of them now.
First down and goal. Pressure comes at him. Amarian Green with his 3rd straight reception. Slips through Roseborough. Slides into the end zone. Touchdown, Patriots.
Stop it. You know, I was going to say after the last play that DeCarrion and Davion would probably text and say, you can't get caught. You can't get tripped up. But I'm telling you what, that was a DeCarrion kind of move, or multiple moves. Davion has the same talent. Omarion Green. How many? One. There's a big one. Not so much an ankle breaker as it was letting the bull just go right on by you.
Having fun yet? Two explosive offenses. Clicking early. 3 possessions combined. 3 touchdowns combined. And the latest in the Joyner bloodline, Omarion Green, 3 consecutive receptions. It started on 3rd down and long, got him to the 42 of the Cavaliers, then to the 10, then into the end zone. And it's the Patriots who have a 7-point lead with 2.5 to go in the first.
That's fantastic.
Fort Dorchester tonight has run 11 plays for 160 yards. And they've used 4 minutes and 40 seconds off the clock.
You, man. You don't have a great opportunity if you're the DC on the other side to figure out what's going on. We'll see if they adjust, maybe bring 3 and drop 8.
Kick from Kennedy takes Kendall Norman close to the goal line, and he almost explodes again.
Dorman with the kickoff return. Number 23, Bryce Carpenter, chipping him up in the
We have the advantage of sitting up high and watching this play unfold. I mean, they covered it perfect. The lanes were covered. And all of a sudden, Kendall Norman picks up about 25 yards.
Dorman was not as clean in its opening possession as Fort Dorchester has been in its first 2. But the result was the same. They had a couple of penalties. They converted 3 third downs. They went 80 yards and scored. Hudson Talley stays in there at quarterback. This is Demarius Foster. His second touch, he had a reception on the opening drive. There's a flag in after a 10-yard run.
That was a late flag. I'm wondering if they're going to flag Devin Geddes for continuing to play after he loses his helmet. There he comes in. Or will the flag be how he lost his helmet?
Tommy Brush will have that answer for us.
He'll wave it off.
Flag on the play.
So it'll be an 11-yard run for Demarius Foster, his 11th carry of the year. Gutschall said he's got some running back depth. Expect to see one other. You've already seen Will Black. You've seen Demarius Foster. Emo Dawkins is the third back you should expect to see for the Cavaliers.
We talked about some of the players that moved on here. One of my favorite Fort Dorchester players, linebacker Darryl Ware. I had an opportunity to meet him in the classroom. We did a story on some of the projects they were doing.
Talley to Hall. Tyson Rogers, the intended target.
But man, he was just an outstanding dude, right? You could just tell, senior in high school. Had some opportunities to go to some smaller schools. Walked on at South Carolina as a linebacker. Saw some playing time last year. Should see some playing time tomorrow. But you look at the guys on the field like Geddes, and you look at DJ Watson, and then the DBs. And then you look down and you see a Gamecock recruiter here. They know where the talent is, and they know what kind of kid they're going to get. More important.
2nd down and 10. Talley in the face of pressure delivers the strike. Kendall Norman off to the races. Good pop. No flags. 61 yards. The Trident Technical College touchdown. Your future, your college. We got 28 points on the board with a minute 53 to go. Let's say 27, pending the extra point. With a minute 53 to go here in the opening quarter.
Talley has struggled with the out route, throwing a couple of high passes. But the tight slants, he is on the money. And it gives these speedy wide receivers a chance to make a move in the open field. And Kendall Norman.
Gibson almost had that thing blocked by Marion Mitchell. Got in there pretty quickly. 4 possessions, 4 touchdowns.
How are we doing?
Well, I don't know. If you're asking the offensive coordinators, they're doing great. The defensive coordinators have some sweaty palms, I think.
Yeah. And it's been clean. Just a penalty or 2. No turnovers. But I love the way Talley led his receiver. Didn't break stride.
A 37-second, 80-yard touchdown drive. It helps when you get 61 of them right here.
They brought pressure from the outside. Fort Dorchester's defensive back just came straight in. Didn't put his arms up. Put your arms up, put your hands up, let him throw over or around something. But that was just too easy for Talley. Because I think at some point in time, I mean, if you're rushing 4 and they're still throwing the ball over the field, at some point in time you got to bring 5 or 6, bring the blitzes, try to upset the rhythm a little bit. The rhythm right now belongs to the offense.
Both teams will tell you, both coaches told me, their defensive lines are their strength. Their secondaries are not as much of a strength. But the lines haven't been able to get into the backfield consistently. So some type of adjustment will have to ensue. Here's one adjustment. Dorman kicks it high instead of deep. So this is Trey Ryan on the return. And Ryan's going to put the Patriots in good field position anyway. Out to the 37.
Thought they had picked up another 15 close to a horse collar tackle.
Fort Dorchester football at their own 37-yard line. First down, Patriots.
Close on top of the shoulder pad. But I think you can kick it wherever you want to kick it. But I think for both teams, there's weapons that are ready. The only weapons are the 5 guys on the front line of a kickoff return. The big uglies.
Osborne and company back out. Osborne fires a strike slightly behind his target, but a sliding grab is made by Marion Mitchell to move the chains.
Yeah, but he did such a nice job of putting over Javon Bradley's hand. I mean, he just drops it right in. Oh, that's why it was offset a little bit, tipped. But he just dropped it right in. Made a bank deposit.
You still do that these days? Not just all mobile? That's a dangerous ball. It is so dangerous, it's picked off. DJ Porter coming back the other way for the Cavaliers and cutting across the field. And we got a flag in as he is wrangled down by a Marion Green.
With the interception for Dorman. Penalty flag.
Now that one was behind McKelvey. I don't know if they're going to get a face mask on the DB. If he wanted a back shoulder throw, he missed the shoulder. But he also eyeballed him the entire time.
Personal foul, face masking against Dorman.
Yep.
They got Dorman for a face mask.
Yeah, he wouldn't let go. Gave him the stiff arm and then just held on to it against Omarion Green. The second costly 15-yard penalty, even though the first one ended up scoring on that drive.
There's Gutschall. Win number 415 was last week. How about these numbers for Gutschall the last 6 years, not including last year? 2014 through 19, they're 66-18, 3 runner-ups in the state finals, 2 quarterfinal losses. He was asked prior to the year about the keys to success. He said, the only thing I've ever wanted to do on a football field is just get a first down.
There you go. See if Fort Dorchester's defense can respond.
Number 11,
I don't know how many running plays you called tonight, but it seems like that was about the third.
It was also the third different guy to carry the ball. Emo Dawkins, his 5th carry of the year.
So they try to stretch out their defense, run around Devin Geddes on the outside. DJ Watson coming from the other side of the field to make the tackle.
Third possession for the Cavaliers. Talley's thrown a couple of touchdown passes. They've got 2 80-yard drives. They try the middle of the Patriots defensive line and come close to the yardage needed.
I think it's going to be short. I don't think it's even close enough to measure. But you can see the battle in the trenches from up here. There's some big boys down there pushing and shoving. Color me wrong.
It is just close enough to measure. 13 seconds left in a entertaining opening quarter. 80-yard touchdown drives, 4 of them in succession to start the game. The Osborne interception gave it back to Dorman. And they're a chain short. A single solitary chain or link.
I guess if I needed to cover me, I would say it was a bad spot. But Tommy and the boys have been good so far today.
It'll probably be the end of the first quarter. A running play. The clock was only stopped for the officials' timeout. So the clock should begin. And then it's whether or not Dorman wants to take this snap. They're out here acting as though they do. Third and about 2 inches. And that's how the first quarter is going to come to a close. A Miller Mott College first down, proudly supporting the Low Country's high school sports. Entertaining game on QFS Transportation Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. 2 South Carolina powerhouses with dynamic athletes and a game living up to its billing. 14 all through a quarter at Fort Dorchester between the Cavaliers out of Spartanburg, South Carolina, and the Patriots out of Dorchester County. I'd say it's a pretty even matchup. Yeah, it's 14 all. Dorman has 171 yards offense through a quarter. Fort Dorchester, 172. Darren Goldwater, Dean Stevens, QFS Transportation, Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. It's a first down to begin the second quarter, and it is a bomb well over the head of Kendall Norman. It's second down.
May have been the best result for Dorchester at double coverage deep.
QFS Transportation, proud to present each participating homeschool a check for $500. This grant provides each school with extra funding to help make their school great. Over the past 11 seasons, Friday Night Rivals and our sponsors have donated over $120,000 to Low Country students and schools. Congratulations from My TV Charleston, ABC News 4, and QFS Transportation. Been a lot of high snaps for Tally. Second down and 10. They roll him out left. His throw is behind his intended target there. Tyson Rogers, the man. It'll bring up third down and 10.
Here's Jaden Porter, 34, on the move, chasing down Tally. See him 34 there? That certainly altered the way that ball was thrown. Tally also coming up limping a bit.
Dorman's first possession was a 10-play, 80-yard drive with 3 third-down conversions in it. An immediate strike on their second possession. And now third and long on their third, wrapped up immediately. Rayshawn Springs brings down Kendall Norman. And our first fourth down of the game.
We called Springs' name, I think, right off the rip. Playing a big game, following Norman around. Norman with a couple of touchdowns. But Springs with a couple of big stops in the open field.
Here's Trey Ryan watching this one bounce in front of him. Looks like he gave it at least a thought as it tumbles down to the 21-yard line. 38-yard punt. Check in with the third member of our crew, Trooper Bob.
Hey, Dean, yeah, I'm down here with Principal Trip Aldridge. Sir, thank you for being here with us tonight. A lot cooler than it was last week.
Absolutely. It's beautiful weather. Great night for Friday Night Football.
Absolutely. What are some of the things you're looking forward to at Fort Dorchester this year?
So I'll tell you, Trooper Bob, we're super excited just to have everybody back. It's been a long time here dealing with COVID and everything that's going on, and we've got everybody back at school, kids here in the stands having a good time, trying to get back to some of the things that they love and just being around their friends.
Absolutely. If you look at the stands, you got a packed house on the Fort Dorchester side. Kids are singing to the songs. They're rooting for the team. So we certainly wish them good luck tonight. Also, thank you for all that you and your staff do for each and every day in our schools.
Thanks. It's my pleasure. You know, it's a true calling, and it's not just me. We do have a great staff that puts everything into this, and they would do anything for our kids and for our school. And this is just a great place to be, and super excited, and we're glad y'all can join in with us tonight.
All right. Best of luck tonight. Thanks for being with us. All right, Dean, it's a nice night out here on the sidelines. Again, a lot cooler than it was last week. So I'll send it back to you guys.
It's much nicer than it was last week. Little screen pass here to McKelvey, and McKelvey picks up the first down. Cam Meadows there for the stop.
Osborne put it on the money, but look at the wall of blue. When he comes up, he's got 3 linemen right there blocking for him. Finds the seam, takes it to the outside of him. The big wall of blue. To keep that ball tucked under his wing a little tighter.
Osborne intercepted to end the last Fort Dorchester possession. On 1st and 10, the pocket hangs in there for Osborne, who throws a high ball, and it's Mitchell who has to hang in there in midair. 11 more yards and another first down for the Patriots, brought to you by A&I Fire and Water Restoration, making your house home again after disaster strikes.
Weapons all over the field. I would say we wouldn't see this number of weapons in like the next 3 weeks of our Friday Night Rivals game, and they're all in this game.
No Davion Joyner, no problem for this Patriots offense. Osborne adjusts the positioning of Desmond Mathis. First pressure coming from Hudson Lee, and that ball was dangerously close to another interception in front of the linebacker, Juson Parks.
Cavaliers that time brought 6, showed 4, brought the 2 linebackers, forced Osborne out of the pocket, made him uncomfortable back there.
Hudson Lee came into the game, Dean, with 10 tackles, 6 of them behind the line of scrimmage. He's 6'5", 255, one of the better defenders in the state. So he's going to go to Wake Forest and play baseball. He's a pitcher. He's committed.
Well, if you can throw 92, I don't blame you.
Take a little fewer hits. Screen set up here to Demetrius McKelvey, and he almost gets lost in the crowd when he works his way into the middle of the field. Charles Smith, the one with the big fist, on the stop.
That time the big wall of blue broke up a little bit too early. You can see him break down. They go finding somebody and allowed the Cavaliers to trip up McKelvey before he picked up any more. I'm not sure how many third down Fort Dorchester's had tonight, but it doesn't seem like a lot.
Very few. Their 2 touchdown drives were a 6 and a 5 play drive. And then they turned it over. They have not faced more than 1 third down in this game. This will be their 2nd third down. They converted one on their opening drive, and it's a timeout first.
And it's the 2nd timeout they've used already in this half. But I think that's how important they see this third down call. I mean, there was plenty of time on the clock. They weren't in jeopardy of losing that or being penalized for delayed game. But understanding how fast Dorman can strike, how important this third down is to convert, I think that's why the timeout's called.
Dorman is the best team Fort Dorchester will see in the regular season. Fort Dorchester can make the case it is one of the best that Dorman will face. The teams up in Dorman's region, traditionally a little bit stronger. They are again this year. But that was one of the things for Steve LaPrade, whose Patriots are number 2 in the state right now, Dorman number 8. He wanted to beef up the schedule, get his team ready for the playoffs.
Keep an eye on the bottom of the screen. McKelvey, height advantage.
It's where they're going, except they go underneath to Marion Mitchell for a first down, slipping as he gets to the sideline. Cam Meadows blanketing.
There's been some great receivers to come through this program. Raekwon, my guy, his brother, Adonica Sanders, who's at Georgia Tech. I mean, you put Davian on the field with what we have right now, I don't know if there's been a better 4 here at Fort Dorchester.
Some of the things Steve LaPrade said about this team were eye-opening. I mean, referencing as good as I've ever had, as good since 1st and 10. Look at this line hold up again. Osborne takes the shot. That one's not close. He wanted a Marion Green, who has a touchdown tonight.
I think Green got tangled up a little bit with the DB. Couldn't release as far down as that ball went. But you see the arm strength of Osborne throwing that ball from about the 38-yard line across the hash, from the far hash.
Osborne dubbed the Post and Courier's Player of the Week in the Low Country last week. 330 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a win over Carolina Forest.
He may get that in the first half tonight.
7th straight passing play. That one's good to Demetrius McKelvey. Close to another first down. It's DJ Porter right there in coverage.
Just impressed with his accuracy. Had the one bad ball on the interception. But man, he just steps into his throw, puts it right on the money.
A&I Fire and Water Restoration first down, making your house home again after disaster strikes. That's what LaPrade said. He said you'll never see him make the wrong read. He may have on that interception, but few and far between. Here comes Hudson Lee on the pressure, and a flipped ball is complete somehow to McKelvey. Well, I don't know if you count that as the right decision or not, but it does get him back to the line of scrimmage.
It does. People today would say that's a Patrick Mahomes play, right? When you got gray hair, you say that's a Brett Favre play.
Little gunslinger mentality, sure. Others would say that's a prayer. It worked. Fourth possession for the Patriots. Touchdowns on their first two, an interception on their third. Just the second running play of this drive is going to pick up a couple of yards. Xavier Birch, the senior defensive tackle, stops Michael Smalls.
Don't mind that call at all. Dorman was bringing a ton of pressure on that first down play. Tried to beat them up the middle, just pick up two.
Already the 11th play of the drive. Started on their own 21. Third down and 8. Osborne on the move. A jump ball is incomplete. Mitchell almost came down with that, Dean.
Mitchell wanted the ball, goes and gets it to the referee. It was just a little too high. He had no one there. He was going there the entire time. Great job by Parks. But you see that play. You see Trey Ryan running the underneath route. If he would just stopped on a dime and turned, it would have been enough for the first down. But everybody was sprinting down on that far sideline.
Here's Chase. Sorry about that, Dean. 36-yard try. Chase Kennedy. And it does not have the leg. That ball went 35 yards from 36 away. 3 straight possessions without points. After the first 4, all found the end zone. Still tied on QFS Transportation Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Glad you're with us for QFS Transportation Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. The offenses have largely been driving this game. That's certainly the way it started, with 4 possessions going 80 yards and resulting in scores to begin the game. Then interception, punt, missed field goal. We're tied at 14 with Dorman taking over inside 7 minutes to go here in the opening half.
Norman at the bottom of your screen. That ball's on the ground.
Fort Dorchester was the first to say that they've got it.
Is that not how this works?
That's exactly how this works. And they're right. Patriots get the turnover back that they gave the Cavaliers in the first quarter.
I'm not sure if Talley ever really stuck it in his gut. Looked like a high handoff. But after it left Talley's hand, it hit the ground. And now let's see if Fort Dorchester can cash in on the turnover. Dorman did not off of the interception.
Pretty much exactly where the Patriots stalled out, missed a field goal about a minute ago. Michael Smalls has it pulled out of his belly. Low throw to Mitchell. Give him the catch. And the explosion inside the 5. They'll mark him out of bounds at the 5. First and goal, Patriots.
Boy, if it didn't hit the ground, it missed by a blade of grass. And it's a very short, it's a tight turf tonight, by the way, too. That was identical to the first play they ran of this game.
Big 93, the defensive lineman Geddes, the fullback. Geddes has it. He's untouched for the Patriots touchdown. Trinidad Technical College touchdown. Your future, your college. 2 plays, 20 yards after the fumble recovery, and the Patriots are back on top.
Once he breaks the line, no one really wants to mess with him. Great job, block, the seal, both linemen on that side.
Senior kicker Chase Kennedy. Line drives this thing. Yeah, that's the kick he needed for the field goal that came up short.
I would tell you that if he could kick that 35-yarder again, if we see that, it's going to look a lot different. That looked like he kicked the 35-yarder with a lob wedge. He just hit that one with a 3-wood.
It's a mark of a good team when you capitalize on the turnover. Dorman could not do that. They got the interception in the first quarter. That was the possession that then stalled out to begin the second quarter. They didn't have it in the field position that the Patriots did at the 20 of the Cavaliers. Took them 2 plays. Patriots now have 252 yards of offense with 6 minutes and 18 seconds to go here in this opening half, and they lead it 21-14, trying to stay in the top 2 in the highest classification or ranking in South Carolina football. They're number 2. This Cavaliers squad is number 8. They're 1-1 on the season.
Fort Dorchester is the only team. We talked a little bit about this last week when we were doing the Wanda James Island game. Fort Dorchester, I believe Baptist Hill in Single A, the only teams ranked in our South Carolina State Media Poll. They are predominantly in the top 10 every year. Fort Dorchester is. Last year, Dutch Fork came to town, knocked them out of the playoffs. Really strong Dutch Fork team.
Norman from the 7 slips through the first wave. If you give him a head of steam, he's going to take it. And the flag is down. The return's about 23 yards, and we'll check on the flag.
It was a late block in the back. But you said that this would be the toughest team they'll face all year. And I think sometimes, yep, there it was, came in late. And I think once you get to the playoff, I think it hurts a team like Fort Dorchester when they start to play the Midlands, the stronger teams, because they're not tested. Talking years past, it helps a great deal when you're blowing out teams. You get to, get those second teamers and third teamers a chance to get in and play. You're able to rack up some experience. But at the end of the day, you really love an opportunity to be able to play a team like this. Maybe not week in and week out.
No. That's what the SEC is trying to do. These type of games week in and week out.
Yeah, Somerville's not enjoying this conversation right now. They're going to remember us.
We'll see him in a little while. Don't worry. Tyson Rogers hops out of bounds. Rayshawn Springs there to help push him out. Maybe 2.5, 3 yards on first down.
Tally still gimpy on that right leg. It was 2 possessions ago. He got hit in his midsection.
The one thing that separates these two teams tonight, these are unofficial stats, I'm keeping them as we go, penalties. I have Fort Dorchester for 1. It's 6 or 7 on the Cavaliers. That's an interception in stride. Rayshawn Springs Touchdown, Patriots.
You saw Talley trying to run him down, and he just couldn't put pressure on that leg. But he eyeballed the left side of the field the entire way. Back-to-back turnovers by Dorman. Turns into 2 quick touchdowns and a 28-point lead. Looks at him the entire time. Springs makes the move. Double coverage help there by Malik Horvath. Knew he had help on the top side. Tommy also took a tumble at about the 5.
Tommy tumbling would be the referee, Tommy Brush.
I don't think he actually tumbled. I think he actually just... Tommy fell. Daniel
You're
Greenman.
the one they're not going to want to give their names to.
That's true.
Perfect from the extra point standpoint tonight for Chase Kennedy. 2 scores for the Patriots in the span of 20 seconds. This game has gone from tied to a 2-touchdown lead for Fort Dorchester. In that replay, it was evident what you were talking about. Hudson Talley favoring the right leg, trying to chase after Rayshawn Springs. This is a Dorman team that very openly, David Gutschall has talked about it. There's a 3-man quarterback competition. One of them is not available tonight. And one of them, Talley, is clearly banged up. You'll see it here. Hopping out of the screen.
I hate to direct from the booth, but if we can find that play, I think we had it queued up earlier when he threw and he was hit late, or he wouldn't hit late, hit in the midsection. I think it was 2 series ago. It was a series before the turnover, but that's when he injured that leg. Oh, look at Nick. See him right here? Got the ankle. You know, in the way that the game is played now, and the way the calls and the penalties for hit up around the shoulder and the head area forces the defender to go low.
They keep kicking to Norman. You feel one of these times it's going to end up in a dangerous situation. He's electrifying. He only gets out to about the 24-yard line here.
It's because sophomore Marcus Moon came in. He runs by 5 or 6 guys. Moon trips him up. He's good.
So behind Talley, Chamarius Bomar is a freshman.
No, I want Zion Kilborn, please.
Well, you're going to get the limping Hudson Talley once again. Zion Kilborn, who we could very well see.
Let me say it.
Go for it.
6'4", 295. And he can throw the... I was watching him in pregame. Throw the football.
Gutschall said still kind of learning the offense. Moved to Spartanburg from Charlotte. Here's Talley with that gimpy right leg. There's a flag in behind him as he picks up about a yard.
Xavier Sanders slow to get up. The bottom of that pile.
Official timeout on the field.
Yep. As number 9, Xavier Sanders, the senior.
The starting strong safety for this Patriots team.
I think by the reaction, Marquis Anderson, I think, may have been the culprit. Didn't like the call.
The trainers on the field for your Patriots who work for St. Francis Healthcare.
Talking to the Fort Dorchester trainer, Jimmy. Been here for, say, 29 years. Been doing this.
Number 9, Xavier Sanders is the injured Patriot.
You know, all of the training staffs, limited personnel, do a great job Great opportunity for high school students who may be interested in that profession to learn from the very best.
The block in the back was the official call.
They've had a couple of big 15-yard penalties. Is their third?
Minimum. They've got more than a handful of total penalties. A little bit of an option here. Emo Dawkins is the pitch man. Dawkins' knee does not go down. And he picks up what was lost on the penalty, and it'll be 2nd down and 9.
Some slick run in there by Emo. That's awesome.
It's like Saquon Barkley calves or thighs just to stay up.
I think the weight, I'm not sure if you're defending that pitch, I don't think you got to pay much attention to tally.
Set up a screen. That one's dangerous. That one's intercepted. And Quantrell Mathis lays the blow and takes it back down to the 11.
Quantrell Mathis says, throw me the ball. Let me play offense. Let me play offense. Makes a great play, drops back in coverage, sees it coming, steals it right out of the hands of number 11, and then lays the lumber. Takes it out of Emo's hands. Yeah, that's the touchdown earlier by Devin Geddes. Big fella. That's a way to get your name called.
290-pounder. Here comes Trey Ryan now. And Ryan is gobbled up in the backfield. Aaron Pulliam, who... Checking Jusan Parks.
Tell you what,
there for the stop.
Back to the interception. We got a leader in the house for hit of the night. And Demetrius McKelvey may have missed that block, but he did a nice job because he could have. I mean, there was that split second. He's like, if I block him right now, it's a block in the back. Got to let him go.
Mm-hmm. How are you going to take it away from his hands?
You don't.
Osborne on the move. He threw it before Ryan broke. He darts back to the outside. 1st and goal, Patriots. In coverage was Bryson Miller.
The up top view of that was awesome. Zoltan getting some pressure. And just puts it right on the number before he even turns around. Michael Smalls puts his body out there and he gets taken out, but it gives him Zoltan enough time to throw the ball.
A&I Fire and Water Restoration, 1st down, making your house home again after disaster strikes.
Get us back in as a fullback.
Geddes had the touchdown on the last possession. He bulldozes his way for a yard. 3 straight turnovers for Dorman. We were tied at 14 2.5 minutes ago. And now the Patriots are in danger of making this a 3-score game.
Those 2 turnovers coming deep in their own territory. Fort Dorchester's made him pay and pay quickly. You just go back to Geddes. Why not?
2nd and goal. It is Geddes. That ball's on the ground. Fort Dorchester recovers it. I guess that's the risk you run when you put the ball in the stomach of a 260-pound defensive lineman. Oh, here comes a flag.
See if we keep rolling here. You see Geddes on the right side. Little skirmish comes there off screen. You can't see it. See if it's going to be offsetting.
Dead ball foul. A personal foul against Fort Dorchester.
Only one way.
That will result in
This is the first 15-yard penalty against the Patriots tonight. Takes them from knocking on the door and goal to 2nd and goal from about the 18.
See it on the left side of your screen here.
Where it remains 3rd down.
So it was Geddes.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to see exactly what happened on the inside, but you saw him come up and push somebody. Same thing happened to Dorman earlier in the game to one of their offensive linemen. Fort used their last timeout. Probably a good timeout. Again, another important play.
Dorman gets the ball to begin the second half. So you stop them here, and you still have your 3 timeouts and some time at the end of this half. Get the ball to begin the second half. You can feel a little bit better about yourself. I mean, this team took a 2.5, well, I guess they were on buses, maybe 3-hour trip on essentially big school buses from Dorman down I-26 to get here. It's a long trip. You go down by 3 scores here, and there's a lot of mind coaching that needs to go on at the half.
Yep.
More than football coaching.
It's 3rd down and long for Dorchester.
Small splits out. They set up the screen, and it's thrown behind Marion Mitchell.
The way he was backpedaling, he had no way to get any kind of zip on the ball. Throws it off his back leg. Mitchell doesn't have a chance to pick it clean out of the air. Now, we'll see if Chase Kennedy brings his lob wedge with him or his 3-wood.
Well, this is
It's exactly the same place.
So to use a saying in line with yours, this is a mulligan. He missed from 36 a few minutes ago. This from 36. It doesn't have the line drive feel of his extra points, but it has much more leg than the last one. And it's a 31-14 Patriots lead.
Say what you want about his 3-wood, but that was good from 45.
Your 3-wood's going 45 yards. You need to give up the game of golf.
It's all bad. It's all bad.
They lost 4 yards on that possession, did the Patriots, so they have 248 now for the half. But the story that's developing right now are the inefficiencies of this Dorman offense. Talley is clearly not 100%, limping around. He's thrown a couple of interceptions, back-to-back possessions. That after a Dorman fumble.
The second quarter not as clean and crisp as the first quarter. But again, adjustments are being made, but I really do. I think that the tackle and the hurt ankle of Talley has impacted the way he's throwing the ball.
And the fact that they're already down one of their quarterbacks, Dorman is, and maybe some hesitancy to go down to Zion Kilborn, because in Gutschall's words, he doesn't have a firm grasp of the offense yet. That's what's keeping him back a little bit. Another chance for Kendall Norman. He took this one in stride at the 10. That was the tackle he needed to avoid in order to potentially make this interesting. Instead, he's down shy of the 35.
I'm not sure who's on the other side of the fairway, but if I was Kennedy, I would be kicking it to the other side of the fairway. Because I'm keeping it out of number 7's hands. I've seen enough of what Norman can do and how quick he can do it.
Speaking of fairways, FedEx Cup Championship underway in Atlanta right now. The Tour Championship, the final leg. 30 guys are in the field. The winner gets $15 million. That's it.
Who's leading?
As of last check, which was much earlier this afternoon, it was still Cantlay over Rahm, but I'm not sure right now. Geddes is leading in terms of name mentions in this game. Geddes is there for the stop behind the line of scrimmage.
We got a push at the end of this play. It's not called. And then some finger pointing going on. Oh, I see what happened. Yep. Mathis, I think, took exception to being held at the end of that play, almost tripped up.
Here's Talley. There's Rogers. wide open on the near side. That's a first down for Rogers out to the 46. 13 yards to Tyson Rogers.
Bryce Carpenter doing a nice job pursuing that play from the inside, making the tackle. Rogers had a ton of room to operate. Tucker played off of him, not on the line.
This would be a big drive for the Cavaliers if they can turn it into points. Hold the Patriots to 3, get some points and the ball.
Springs on Norman at the top of the screen.
Patriots rush 4, really drop some of them back. That's a strike downfield.
That's the best throw he's had since he injured that ankle. Put it right on the money.
To Emo Fowler. First reception of the year for Emo Fowler.
2 Emos on the team.
Right?
I love that. Dueling Emos. 1:10 on the clock. Cavaliers still have all 3 of their timeouts.
No need to rush. Here's the other Emo. This is Dawkins, knifing his way back into the field of play. Malik Horlbeck, number 6, with the most reflective blue visor I can remember. That was a great shot of it. Nice timing.
I've seen that, yeah. Emo had a good block on the outside. He decided to take it back in, but that's where the pressure was coming from, limiting his gain to about 4 yards. Let's see if Fort brings pressure here.
2nd down and 8. They roll Talley. Talley back across the middle. Rogers is open. Touchdown, Cavaliers. Boy, did they need that. They go 66 yards without even using a timeout in about a minute and a half for a Trident Technical College touchdown. Your future, your college, 25 yards to Rogers.
Boy, a lot of props to Talley. Bad ankle. And they're moving him out of the pocket to throw the ball. Does it well from the right. I'm not sure if it was a blown coverage, but at the end of the play, Tucker falls down. But I think if he keeps his feet, it's still a touchdown. Boy, you got to credit, I think you credit Dorman's defense. Holding Fort Dorchester just 3 on their last possession. I think if they score a touchdown there, is it different? Doesn't matter. Because as you pointed out, they get the ball back. Fort's got 26 seconds and no timeouts.
66 yards, 5 plays, just over 60 seconds. And that's more like the Dorman offense looked the first 2 times they had the football. Eighth-ranked team in the 5A classification in South Carolina. Clawing its way back with a defensive stand that held the Patriots to 3, and then a quick touchdown drive with a less than 100% junior quarterback and a very much 100% senior receiver, Tyson Rogers.
Couple of bad interceptions. And they kind of went through a little 4 or 5 minute period where they just didn't look good. But they've got the weapons. Talley's showing the heart.
There's your lob wedge. Trey Ryan isn't your usual up man. He returns punts for this team. So this isn't like you're giving it to a guy who isn't used to the ball in his hands. But it does give the coverage unit a chance to wrangle him up. And it kills about 20 seconds off this clock. And it brings a flag in as well.
Flag was thrown on the far side of the field. But they are talking. I wouldn't say it's been a chippy game at all, but I think it's been verbally spirited.
Spirited is exactly the word that was going to come out of my mouth. These are 2 of the best teams in the state. And you got a Dorman team already with a loss, a surprising upset loss. This penalty against the Fort. There's a personal foul against Dorman as well, so those are offsetting penalties. Odds are Dorman will head to the locker room down by 10. Odds are the Patriots take a knee, take this lead to the locker room.
Yep.
248 yards of offense, most of it through the air for Zoltan Osborne and company. They're going to have him kick it again.
Well,
after the offsetting penalties, will re-kick.
so what they did here, and I was going to suggest it. Well, Pratt and we're just in the same universe, really.
Yeah. That's what I think of you.
But
too.
they know, they've been pooching this kick. So I'm like, take your deep guy and bring him forward.
Yeah.
Not that Ryan's doing a bad job. And then Marion Mitchell is now scooted up. Ryan is now deep. Let's see if Dorman recognizes what's happened here.
Little things like that are the reasons why coaches like LaPrade and Gutschall hang around for 40 years in coaching and win state championships. Because this thing's going right to Marion Mitchell, although it skips in front of him. And Mitchell's down.
Yep, tripped on his own guy. But I think this is a one snap and a kneel.
Oh, yeah.
Mitchell fields the kickoff for the Patriots.
If you missed the beginning of this game, we told you at the very start that both coaches believed that it would be tough to run the ball. Both coaches thought they'd have to pitch it around. So in the first 4 possessions, it's exactly what we saw. And we saw touchdowns, 2 of them apiece in the first 4 possessions. Sputtered a little bit in the midst of the first quarter into the early stages of the second. Turnovers then bit Dorman. It let Fort Dorchester jump out to a 31-14 lead. Dorman's touchdown right before the half gets them within 10, and it will be the Cavaliers out of the half who get this ball. The 8th-ranked team in the state would be significantly higher had they not been upset while significantly undermanned in week 1. 2 perennial state championship contenders at the 5A level. In fact, they met for the 2015 state championship, and Fort Dorchester beat them. It's a 10-point game with 52 points on the board through a couple of quarters.
Well, we have seen weapons on both sides and seen one of the better football games, one of the better halves of football we've seen on Friday Night Rivals. They are not disappointing. Steve LaPrade stopping to chat with Trooper Bob. He's standing by with Coach LaPrade right now. Trooper Bob?
Hey, Dean, I'm down here with Coach LaPrade. Coach, you're up sizably at halftime. Are you happy with your team's performance so far?
Yeah, that last one kind of hurt us. We got a bad kick here on the kickoff game, good field position. And, I'd felt a whole lot better 31-14. But, yeah, I'm happy. We're playing hard. It's a good football game. It's what I thought it'd be.
What would you like to see more of in the second half?
About the same amount of points, and if they don't get any more than that, I'll feel real good.
Thank you for your time, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Well, there you have it, Dean and Darren. I'll tell you, there's some hard-hitting folks around here. They hit my car that hard, airbags coming out. It's like an NFL game down here.
Airbags. First time on QFS Transportation Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruise Chevrolet. Some of the best airbags you can find. Cruise Chevrolet on Rivers. Our Roper St. Francis Hospital halftime show's next. Halftime report brought to you by Roper St. Francis Hospital, where experience matters. These are two of the most experienced head coaches in the state of South Carolina. Their teams have amassed 248 yards for the Patriots, 240 for Dorman. That's how even this game is. Turnovers the difference in the first half, the 10-point lead for the Patriots. Each week, David Ayler Law Offices and Riders Law Group proud to highlight scholar athletes from each participating school. Only one of them is in our district, so we got one tonight. The students selected have an opportunity to win a $5,000 scholarship at the end of the season. Jamie Hutchinson, a 4.8 GPA, is part of the ROTC, National Honor Society. He's in the Beta Club. I'm not even sure what the Beta Club is. That's how smart Jamie Hutchinson is. He is our Scholar Athlete of the Week. Possible he will win a $5,000 scholarship at the end of the season. That brought to you by David Ayler Law Offices and Riders Law Group. Speaking of, David Ayler visited with Scott Eisberg.
David Ayler joining us again, presenting our Scholar Athletes. So much fun each and every year to unveil them to you. The process is so cool each and every year. I know our last one during the pandemic was incredible. She even baked you a cake.
Yeah, she literally baked me a cake, and I ate it, of course. Just shows so many of the different talents that these students have. It's so much fun to be able to, see everything they've accomplished when they submit at the beginning of the year, and then watch their performances throughout the year. It's very rewarding.
Yeah, and this is not just football we're talking. We're talking about student athletes from every sport. And I think that's what kind of makes it fun, is you get to see a wide array of student athletes.
Right. You get to see students playing all different sports, having different interests within the classroom and then outside of the classroom with charities and nonprofits.
Yeah, that's always a fun thing. I know our last one heading to Clemson. Who knows where they will go this year? That's David Ayler from our Scholar Athlete Award presentation.
More from Fort Dorchester as we roll along on the halftime report brought to you by Roper St. Francis Hospital, where experience matters. Patriots up by 10. It'll be Dorman ball to begin the second. Halftime report brought to you by Roper St. Francis Hospital, where experience matters. One of the best things about somewhat of a return to normalcy is our Rockstar Cheer of the Night is back. We're giving you an opportunity to vote for the Rockstar Cheer of the Night. It's easy. Log on abcnews4.com/poll. You can vote for either of these cheer squads. Simple as that. First, you're going to get a chance to watch them, and then cast your vote. Rockstar Cheer of the Night results later on. If one thing's been consistent in now 12 years of doing our QFS Transportation Friday Night Rivals telecast, the road team always dominates the cheer of the night voting. See if Fort Dorchester fans can change that, or Dorman fans come to the occasion. Halftime rolls along, 10-point lead for the Patriots. Halftime report brought to you by Roper St. Francis Hospital, where experience matters. And if you got enough experience and you win a game on QFS Transportation Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet, then you can win this awesome trophy brought to you by All-American Awards. For almost 30 years, All-American Awards in Mount Pleasant has been your local trophy shop, providing both corporate and sports awards to meet your style and budget. Visit Steve and his crew at All-American Awards when you recognize excellence. Find them online, awardsguy.com. That's plural, awardsguy.com. He can make you your own mini Lombardi trophy. This is the premier game of the night in South Carolina high school football. A couple of other scores to rattle off to you right now. Ashley Ridge trailing Wilson by 4. Cane Bay Hanahan is a 1-point game. Both of those are at the half. Also at the half, Hammond and one of the state's best running backs, C.J. Stokes, currently committed to Michigan. They're leading Porter Gaud 14-0. Lawrence Manning and First Baptist. They got a heck of a running back, too, at First Baptist. That's a 7-all game. And Oceanside Collegiate leading Murray 10-6. I believe that one is in the third quarter right now. Those are scores from around the state. Score right here on QFS Transportation Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. It's the Patriots up by 10, and the Cavaliers set to return the second half kickoff when we bring you back. About set to go here in the second half of our QFS Transportation Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. An owner of 415 wins, but trailing at the half. David Gutschall is standing by with Trooper Bob.
Hey, Coach, what's one thing that you stressed to your team during halftime?
Well, the big thing, we had to stop turning the football over. 3 turnovers against an outstanding football team is not a recipe for to be alive. But, I thought the team responded well, and we're still in it at this time, but we got to stop making so many mistakes.
Would you like to see more of a ground game or air game for the second half?
Well, we want to run the football, but our tailback got hurt in the first quarter, and we're a banged-up football team right now, and so we're going to do what we can do. I'd like to be able to run the ball better than we're running it.
Coach, thank you for your time. Good luck in the second half.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Take care. All right, well, there you have it, Dean. That's from the coach. I'm looking at the scoreboard now. There's still a good game for the second half. I'll send it back to you guys.
All right, Trooper Bob, thanks. I'll send it over to my pal Darren. The scoreboard shows it a close game, but I think what you said, when they get the ball, they score a touchdown here, and good old Coach. I think I'd like to have Coach Gutschall over to my house for dinner one night. Don't you think?
I enjoyed my conversation with him today. The two coaches are very good friends. Steve LaPrade said, he might be the only older guy than me. He told me a great story about technology and how they were trying to exchange rosters, and accidentally they were sending each other the same roster back and forth.
That's awesome, man.
But Gutschall said earlier today, he said, listen, man, running the ball is a struggle anyway, and now they're down, which is why Emo Dawkins apparently has been getting a load of the carries. And I didn't know buses were supposed to do this. There's Steve LaPrade, the head coach, just hanging on in the front of that bus.
Yeah, this is like one of the better entrances of high school football you see. I mean, they go through their workouts, they do their prep work, get ready for the game, and then they exit about 15 minutes. They go get dressed in the locker room. They get on the buses, they bring them in. Police escort, and their family and friends line up underneath the stands. They get off the bus. Pretty cool.
How often do you think those buses need to get serviced if they're rocking like that?
Well, if they're not squeaking, it's fine, Darren.
They got shocks, right?
Yeah.
I'm not a car guy.
And I am?
I don't know.
But I know from that picture, the struts and the shocks seem to be in pretty good shape.
Offense is in good shape in this game. Fort Dorchester, 248 yards in the first half. These are unofficial numbers, but I think I'm pretty close. Dorman had 240. But like we said, like Coach Gutschall said, turnover's the difference. Dorman turned it over 3 times, Fort Dorchester once, but the Patriots' turnover didn't result in Dorman points. What rhymes with Dorman? Norman. Another kickoff return. He's got him set up just outside or inside of their 40-yard line.
You know what else rhymes with Norman? Stormin' Norman.
He must have pushing up on 200 return yards already tonight.
He's just got great vision. I mean, he just sees where the holes are, and he makes them miss. Talented guy. I mean, if you're the USC scout, assistant coach on the sidelines watching this game, I don't know who he's here specifically for. You talk about some of the linemen already having interest from him, but my goodness.
Here's Demarius Foster over the left side until he cuts it back into the middle, into the arms of 93, Devin Geddes.
Yeah, the cutback was a pretty good idea until he ran directly into DJ Watson. It's pretty good here, but it's that cutback right there. You get Watson and Geddes. Pretty good bookends, wouldn't you say?
And then in the middle, Quantrell Mathis, who has an interception. 92. Watson's got a ton of offers, including South Carolina there, number 90. So maybe they're just here to say, hey, still like you. High throw to Rogers, like these receivers have done all night. Up to get it and get the first down. Brought to you by Miller Mott College, proudly supporting the Low Country's high school sports.
I think that's the biggest question being addressed by the defensive coordinator. What do we do with our corners? Do we play them off? Or do we play them tight on the line? I think you play them tight on the line, you risk that slant move across the middle. You give them too much pad, and they pick up 8 or 9 on Talley's right on the money.
Got DJ Porter back there in the Wildcat, and the Wildcat is down. The defensive line wins that battle. You're supposed to have an extra blocker when you come with a Wildcat, right? Didn't seem to matter. Mathis and Geddes were in there.
The first time we've seen them run out of the Wildcat. Yeah, well, Geddes just blew the play up. I think anybody watches this game film from Fort Dorchester's region, it's going to be tough to figure out how to handle that interior line.
They want the receiver screen. They got it complete. That's the first part. Norman spun down.
All right, talk earlier in the first half.
Aaron Lawrence there with the stop.
Earlier in the game, Fort Dorchester defender came after the quarterback, didn't put his hands up there. Geddes did, and it altered the way he delivered that football. Stayed in the air a little bit too long, allowed his defensive backs to come up and put pressure on Dorman.
Dorman had some success, especially early on in the game on third down. Had a couple of third and longs as well.
Oh, my goodness.
They quick snap it, and Geddes pummels Talley, who loses the ball.
That ball's hot.
There's no whistle. Patriots pick it up, and they're off to the races the other way. That's Aaron Lawrence. And there are two men down on the field. One is Talley, and one looks to be the head referee, Tommy Brush.
It's the second time that he's fallen. Devin Gaddis absolutely manhandled number 77, Elian Gonzalez. Literally pushed him out of the way. And that's what freed him up to hit Talley from the blind side.
And now our attention turns to Tommy Brush. He fell around the goal line on the opposite end of the field in the first half. I did not see him go down. It was just behind the play.
I think probably more embarrassed than anything else, and probably would tell you he's never fallen twice in one game before. But watch this play again. The earlier highlight, you could see it from the side. But that was an absolute, just a man. It was a man move.
Talley never felt him, clearly never saw him. And I think a lot of players kind of froze. They saw Geddes celebrate.
Yep.
But Aaron Lawrence said, I haven't heard a whistle. I'm going to take this ball and go give us, the Patriots, 37, now 38 points. So much for the good fortune of the Cavaliers to take some momentum with that late score that unravels here in the third quarter. Another turnover, a scoop and score for the Patriots. It's 38-21 Fort Dorchester.
One of our keys to the game is going to be a late turnover that would provide to be the difference of this game. 9:24 in the third quarter does not define late in the game, but it was a defining turnover.
Well, that's now 4 turnovers.
Yep.
That's 4 turnovers, Dean, in their last 5 possessions. The only exception was the touchdown with a couple of seconds left in the half. And you don't need to be a guy with 415 wins under your belt to understand if you turn it over 4 times against the second-ranked team in the state.
It's not going to go well.
No, it's not.
Did Coach LaPrade talk to you about Geddes and any offers and who's interested in him?
He said that he's probably the best defensive player in the state, and he is still considering his options.
Well,
Chase Kennedy to kick off for your Patriots.
But certainly a guy like that could theoretically play anywhere.
just runs right by him.
He does. I mean, the first guy's never going to drop Norman. There will be some move.
Xavier Sanders was like, I got him this time. I got him this time.
No, you don't.
No, I don't got him this time. Well, it's ironic that the assistant coach here for the Gamecocks is Jimmy Lindsay. And you know what position he coaches?
Yeah, that'd be the defensive line.
That is the defensive line.
Well, number 90 right there.
Yes.
On your screen, he has an offer from Jimmy Lindsay in South Carolina. He's got a lot of offers, and he loves South Carolina.
Talley back in.
Hasn't been an easy night for him. Not moving especially well, but his ball is on target. A little bit low. Foster off the initial hit, spinning free, and picks up maybe a handful. It's a lot of work for 5.
Those are like rugby tackles. Just putting your shoulder into them. Not going to stop anybody. Especially these wide receivers. You're going to bounce off you, pick up some more.
These teams have met 3 times all time. Patriots have won 2 of them. They'll roll the pocket towards Geddes. That's a first down throw to Kendall Norman. Check it, that's 3. Tyson Rogers. And a first down brought to you by Miller Mock College, proudly supporting Low Country High School sports.
One thing about this Dorman offense, they know how to rebound from a bad possession.
Four turnovers in their last 5 possessions. On the ground, a burst of speed. 6-yard there's for Demarius Foster. He was the leading JV running back last year, one of 3 guys this year. But if you miss Coach Gutschall with Trooper Bob at the beginning of the half, they believe Will Black is a bit banged up. We haven't seen him in a while.
First quarter injury. I mean, you think about that, 4 turnovers in the last 5 possessions, and they're only down 17. Right? One of those turnovers, Fort Dorchester did not score points on. Another one, it was 3 points.
Problem is the Patriots have not punted. Norman adjusts to that ball behind him. Rayshawn Springs adjusts to Norman. 3 yards. Maybe 2 yards backwards.
DJ Gett pulls off of that line and makes a huge pancake block on the outside.
Springs, who made that play, had an interception for a touchdown back in the first half. The only time Fort Dorchester hasn't scored, they missed a field goal and turned it over. Other than that, touchdowns and 1 field goal. So you're only down 17. But I wonder if it doesn't feel like more. That is a long, dangerous throw, and it is incomplete, intended for Norman and broken up by Kanai Tucker.
And I think that's where if you've got something going, well, he didn't really get a chance to set his feet. Usually those out throws from on the move been a bit sharper. But after a couple of long plays, they stall out. And now Fort Dorchester has a chance to salt this thing away, go up by 24.
Trey Ryan thinks about it.
What are we doing?
We're going to let that roll. 42-yard punt.
What are we doing?
First offensive possession for the Patriots this half. It comes with a 17-point lead. An offense that amassed 248 yards, 31 points in the first half, has the ball for the first time here in the second half. Their only points this half came on a scoop and score. Patriots will start it on the ground with Smalls. Smalls slips his way around the initial pursuit of Parks and has the first down, 12 yards.
For a football team that has really leaned on the pass, you're up 17 with 7 minutes left in the third quarter. You would love to be able to run the football, run some clock off, pick up some positive yardage. They were able to pick up 11 there.
Zion Reynolds, who rushed for 4 touchdowns last week, he only had 35 yards. He's not available for the Patriots tonight. They'll throw this ball. This is Marion Mitchell, and there's Parks with the pursuit and the toss. And good, Mitchell's up after a brief pause.
You know, 3 things happen on a pass. Something good, something bad, and then kind of something in between. But what Fort Dorchester's really got to concentrate on is protecting that football. They don't want to give up a turnover here deep in their own territory.
Going noticeably slower here. Trey Ryan with a little pocket. He's got it, and he's got a first down. Bumped out of bounds by the freshman Moni Weaver. Spot him at the 39 and 14 more yards for this Patriots offense.
Dorman played off of Ryan on that play. And there you see the strength of Osborne in that arm. It was across the field, put it right on the money.
Third-year starter, Osborne is. He's up about 200 pounds. Came into the night after just one game this year, completing 18 of 24 for 330 yards. He's added to it. Another little pocket there for Ryan. This time Weaver does a lot more than bump him out of bounds. He suplexes him. 5 more yards.
Did a nice job of staying in bounds. But here's going to be the other key.
Gain of 5, making it 2nd and 5.
They're going to be able to keep their composure on plays like that. Stay away from unnecessary personal fouls. Keep your head.
It's a young team. David Gutschall said this isn't one of his best at the moment. He hopes they are as good as Fort Dorchester around game 15, which would mean a pretty deep run. Hudson Lee, the defensive end, bit. He came all the way down. It left part of the top of the field open. It results in that first down to Marion Mitchell, who's eventually run out by Cam Meadows.
Most impressive play of the night. I think initially after Osborne pulled the ball back, I thought he was going to run it. It was going to be a loss. But he keeps his head enough to know he's got a receiver out left, and he hits Mitchell on the run. Great play.
Miller Mott College first down, proudly supporting the Low Country's high school sports. If you don't have a wonderfully effective run game, you can do these short passes. Osborne, that's not short, that's a dart over the middle. Another first down for the Patriots. Marion Mitchell on the receiving end yet again. DJ Porter in coverage.
Just don't know where they're going to come from next. Go back to Osborne for a minute. He's 6'3", 200 pounds. He's able to put on another 15 pounds. He's got the size, he's got the arm strength. You go into a senior season, 6'3", 220, only going to get stronger. Hard to imagine not seeing him play somewhere on Saturday.
Trey Ryan basically breaks that one up and prevents it from being intercepted. Moni Weaver right there with him. He's been blanketing him so far this drive.
I think from this point, if you don't see a guy that's wide open, you don't throw the ball. Because that would have been a pick 6. Quick.
No doubt.
And the other advantage of making sure you get a clean completion. The clock's going to run.
Into double coverage. That's incomplete.
I think he wanted McKelvey to keep running. McKelvey pulls up. Ball is over his head just a little bit.
Yeah, and he put it in a spot where
nobody was going to catch it except McKelvey.
Exactly. Ninth play of the drive that started at their own 8-yard line. This possession will put Fort Dorchester over 300 total yards of offense tonight.
They want a timeout. Worst case scenario, it's a 39-yarder. Best case scenario, it's a first down, you move the chains.
You know, some coaches have a philosophy of, I'm not going to just burn a timeout. I'm going to save them till the end of the game. That hasn't been LaPrade tonight. Not at all. He used them a couple times early in the first half. We still have 5 minutes to go in the third quarter here. When you have the teachable moments, when you have the critical plays, especially early in the year, take them.
And I think in the first half, I believe those timeouts were taken on a third down.
Yes.
The Grow Financial Fan Cam.
And I think this is a reminder that if your guy's not there, don't throw it. Get rid of it. Try to bang another field goal out.
You know, when I saw that Fort Dorchester beat Carolina Forest and hung 58 points on them last week, that was a game that they scheduled late. They had been preparing for Berkeley, an option team. And they get Carolina Forest, a very good team.
We saw them play last year. They're excellent.
Yes, and you hang almost 60.
Yeah.
That, to me, said, okay, this Fort Dorchester team could be for real. Dorman has helped them. Lots of turnovers. But the Patriots have athletes everywhere. They don't have their best receiver in the game. And if you didn't hear me say that, and if you didn't know about Davion Joyner,
right,
you never know that their best receiver is not in this game.
And when you say he's their best receiver, and you see what Omarion Green has done tonight, and you've seen what Demetrius McKelvey's done, and Marion Mitchell, and you're telling me he's their best receiver.
Last week he had 7 grabs for 121 yards of the 330 through the air. Joyner did. His cousin, Omarion Green, has done just fine for himself in this game. There was one possession. He had 3 straight grabs that ended in the end zone. Here's a big third down play now for the Patriots. Third down and 10. Hudson Lee, first time he impacts the play in the backfield with help from the other end, Bo Roseborough.
Not called Roseborough's name since early in the first quarter. Osborne comes up slow as well. I think he's a bit more frustrated than anything else, because I think that takes them out of field goal range.
And if anything, that's probably just
about a 42-yarder. They're going to go for it on fourth down. Maybe they try to get him to jump here, but Pratt and I not in the same universe. I don't like this.
That doesn't make you comfortable, does it?
No.
Fourth down and 13. Osborne to the end zone. Oh. Incomplete for Ryan, who made a play for it.
Boy, I put it right on the money. It looked like from our angle.
Turns the ball over on downs to the Dorman Cavaliers.
I guess the worst case scenario here is you think they intercept it.
First down, Dorman at their own 27-yard line.
But the incompletion, even, it was in his hand. Yeah, he dropped it right in his basket. And I think maybe Bradley was able to get his arm in there and pull Ryan's arm out of there.
Still haven't punted.
The big boy's in. Zion
yes,
Kilborn.
He is. 295-pound quarterback gives it off to his tailback. And he picks up 2.
He's also 6'4", 295. And if there is a football god out there, we're going to get a one-on-one with Zion Kilborn and Devin Gaddis.
I don't know if Kilborn wants that so much.
I'm not sure if Gaddis wants it so much. But it's mass versus mass.
Well, there's the arm first. Maybe juggled a little bit there. And then gang tackled a couple of yards shy of the first down is Norman. There's a little push afterwards.
See?
That draws the flag. That'll be 15 yards against the Patriots.
And what I said probably 5 minutes ago, you cannot give them a free 15. Up 17. Whistle blows in plenty of time to let this play go. And that's going to cost them 15. And a fresh set of downs.
That's right.
Dead ball foul, personal foul against Fort Dorchester. A 15-yard penalty from the end of the
I told Steve LaPrade when I said hello to him, I said, you know, the cool thing about this and your head of gray hair is that when this game gives you gray hair, you have no idea it's giving you gray hair, right? It's like, this is years and years of experience, my friend. But that one right there make you lose hair. You saw the arm strength of Kilbro as well.
Here's Foster now looking to bounce it to the outside. Does so. Slips his way through Bryce Carpenter and gets deep into Patriots territory, pushing down towards the 25.
Foster with a great job just being patient behind the line of scrimmage. He let his blockers move out, let him create a hole, and all he needs is a little gap and a sliver, and that's what he gets to the outside. Bryce Carpenter overruns the play. Tucker saves a touchdown.
Tally started the game, went all the way for Dorman up until this point when Zion Kilborn has taken over. And remember, Tally wasn't 100%. Malik Horlbeck onto the back of Demarius Foster to knock him down after 6 more yards on the ground.
Interesting that Dorman has found a successful run game with Tally out of the game.
Gain of 5 down to the Fort Dorchester 23-yard line. We're in second and 5.
And if I'm Fort Dorchester, I'm going to make number 1 beat me through the air. I'm going to jam the box. And I'm going to see what he can do through the air on this drive.
He's thrown 7 passes this year, including the one he threw a little bit ago. But here's Foster bouncing it out and not getting away this time from Bryce Carpenter. Got away on the long run. This time Carpenter gets him back.
Yes, he does. Great open field tackle. Gets him down around the ankles.
Loss of one of the play brings a third down to Dorman.
Cavaliers looking at 3rd down and 6. They dropped their opening game, stunning a lot of people. They lost to Clover 20-7, but shut out Boiling Springs last week 30-0.
Norman's got nobody on him.
And Tally's in the game, dumping it off to his tight end Nash, who was running before he caught the ball.
Boy, if he looks left, I mean, literally no one was on Kendall Norman. Closest defender was 15 yards off the line of scrimmage. Now they bring Kilborn back in.
It's interesting, right? Because on 3rd down, you bring Tally in to dump one off. And now on 4th down, you go back to Kilborn. So it's not like one guy's the rusher and one guy's the passer.
Right. He had nobody on the slot man on the bottom of the screen.
Kilborn, that ball's broken up, and it's a turnover on downs. Rayshawn Springs, man, has he had a heck of a game tonight. David Shelton listed him as one of the top cover corners in the area in the Post and Courier. He's living up to it tonight.
I know that Fort Dorchester's put up 38, but I think Springs has to be considered as our player of the game. He has been great on the outside. We have called his name from almost the very first play of the game.
Both teams over 300 yards of offense now. We've got 600 and about 45 yards of combined offense. Osborne flips one back to Ryan. They're featuring him a little bit more here in the second half. Cam Meadows with the ankle tackle.
Cam Meadows on the tackle for the Cavs.
High percentage throw.
Second and 9 for Dorchester.
Again, stays in bounds, lets the clock run a little bit. Plays are all called from the sidelines. All the players have wristbands on that shows them to play. You have nobody running the play in.
Lee pressures Osborne. This one doesn't have much room in the middle here. Darian Mitchell swallowed up in the middle.
Little bubble screen underneath. What I'd love to see Osborne do is work the clock. They snap that with 15 seconds left. Now there's 26 seconds left. I don't know if going fast is what they want to do. With a 17-point lead, you can let that clock run down to 3 before you snap it.
Looks like there may have been some confusion on the defense. They're down and 4. Osborne hit as he throws, and the pressure forced him to get rid of that ball earlier than he wanted to. Teamer was the one who got in and got him around the legs.
Either Green or Ryan cut off that route. And that's what Osborne is looking at his receivers. One of the guys was supposed to go deep. They both stopped. See Green there 1 and Ryan 5.
Chase Kennedy and the punt for the Patriots.
First punt tonight for Chase Kennedy.
Got to be a little stiff.
Well, he's been out there kicking a little bit. Meanwhile, Geddes is in on the punt team as well. Geddes is in like for every snap of this game. Not as much offensively, but he's in around the goal line. That ball is out of bounds at the 31-yard line officially. 39-yard punts.
Ball down to the Dorman 31-yard line. Going to be first down, Cavaliers.
Geddes, I was watching Geddes and Hudson Lee. They kind of walked off and then bumped shoulder pads, and then they just had a nice friendly conversation. But you know what I'm saying about the clock and letting it run down?
Yeah.
I mean, that was, again, maybe that's not what LaPrade wants. But when you got a lead like this, you could have burned an extra 30 seconds off the big clock. Tally back in now.
Defenses are both having more success in the second half than they did in the first. Foster stretches one, picks up a couple.
Last 2 or 3 run plays, the interior line of Fort Dorchester, instead of flashing through the gap, they just kind of run down the line. That way, there's really no opening for the running back to find.
The only points of this third quarter were defensive points. A scoop and score from Aaron Lawrence with 9:24 to go in this third quarter. It was the opening drive of the third quarter. Well-designed play. Tally out of the backfield. This is Foster, and Foster is tripped up with a flag in. Xavier Sanders got him around the ankles, and the flag is at the point of contact there.
They're going to say a block in the back, baby. But Norman pleading his case. Let's see if we can see it here. Yeah, it was, you saw a player come in and a block in the back kind of fly through the screen.
So Dorman's got a lot he can clean up, right? The turnovers, the penalties.
Illegal block in the back against Dorman.
They have more total yards in this game than the Patriots have. They don't have the time of possession, but they've had it longer. There's really no doubt.
Yep.
And the third quarter comes to a close without a single offensive touchdown.
I'd have lost that bet. Wouldn't you have lost that bet?
I'd have lost that bet. I'd have made the bet again and lost it again. After everything we saw in the first, Patriots lead it by 17 in a matchup of two top 10 5A teams in South Carolina. Glad you're with us. QFS Transportation, Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet with Dean Stevens and Darren Goldwater. And we've got Dorman looking at first down and 10. And Hudson Talley on the move and taking a shot for Rogers, but he drifts him out of bounds.
Exactly what happened. Talley moving to his right. That's exactly how the flight of the ball. That was the path of the ball. He had his man beat. Rogers did. I'll tell you what. These defensive backs got to feel like they've been in a track meet tonight. On both sides.
They knew to expect it. If the coaches were so open in most interviews that they did leading up to the game that they're going to be throwing the ball, the players knew what to expect here. A little bit of a wildcat look, and it's not fooling the Patriots at all. Twice they've gone with Porter as their quarterback, and twice he's been swallowed. Geddes is the one who got him here.
Devin Geddes in on the tackle for the Patriots.
He had some help from Marcus
That
Moon.
brings a third down and long. Dorman from their own 41-yard line.
Third and long, back to Kilborn.
Yep.
They need 13 yards and a four-man rush for the Patriots, and the only guy who had a shot at that was Rayshawn Springs.
Tell you what, he throws the ball really well. Not exactly where he wanted it to go.
You can see the confidence isn't as high right now for Dorman.
Yep.
The body language is not the same as it was early on in the game. That can happen when you turn it over 4 times, fall behind by 17, and shank a punt. That one rolls dead at the 29-yard line.
30-yard punt on the play down to the Fort Dorchester 29.
But the difference, though, is early in the game when they made those mistakes, they were able to rally.
This is what Osborne's done. On the money all night. Oof.
That was the one he got crushed. Put it right in Green's hands. I think his best throw of the night, though, may have been down to Trey Ryan. When Ryan hadn't even turned around, he put it right on the money. Ryan turns and it's in his hands.
Yeah, that put him right down at the 5. Remember when you said we haven't heard much from Bo Roseborough?
Yeah, he just made a noise.
Yeah, does that count?
Yeah, he made a noise. He did. He's good. He's quick. But 14's offensive line really contained him tonight. But just so quick down the line.
It looked like a heavyweight battle when the game started. Both teams went 80 yards for touchdowns on their first 2 possessions, and it was 14 all. That's when the turnovers started to creep in. 1 for Fort Dorchester, and a string of them for Dorman. Green put that one on the ground. Late in the second quarter, Fort Dorchester started to capitalize again.
Roseborough comes up limping. He gets taken out of the game. Did not want to be taken out of the game.
Felt like Dorman had some momentum when they held the Patriots to a field goal, then scored with less than 60 seconds left. They trailed by 10 at the half.
Right.
But then Talley got blown up early on in the third quarter. Fumble, scoop, score. And that's the score we still have.
And that was Geddes on the play. Manhandled the left tackle.
Third down, another timeout. Follows that pattern, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't. You know, aside from getting home a few minutes later, I don't mind that at all.
Limerick Heating and Air cool play of the game. Call today, comfortable tonight. It's actually very comfortable outside. Our cool play of the game,
Oh, that's how cool we're going. We're going defensive lineman interception cool from Quantrell Mathis.
Yeah. But it was laying the lumber.
If anything says cool, a defensive lineman coming away with an interception. You know what makes him cool? Walking around the halls next time he's in school. He'll be cool.
Yeah. Super cool.
That's your Limerick Heating and Air cool play of the game called today. Comfortable tonight. Osborne crushed. Little gets in there again. Hudson Lee will be a pitcher at Wake Forest next year. And for the rest of this year, he'll just be dominating opposing quarterbacks.
Yeah, I didn't like the angle that he came in and hit him. That's shoulder on shoulder.
Patriots 23-yard line. We're going to be fourth down and long. Fort Dorchester, number 7, Chase Kennedy. And the punt for the Patriots.
So back-to-back punts now for Fort Dorchester. Back-to-back 3 and outs, in fact, for Fort Dorchester. Rugby style, rugby roll.
Rugby effective.
About a 42-yard punt. 9:22 left in the game. Your QFS Transportation Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet, controlled by the Patriots.
Here with Ken French, Cruz Chevrolet, North Charleston. You've got a friend in the car business. You've got a friend here at Cruz Chevrolet. Why is it year in, year out that you guys are helping out with Friday Night Rivals and high school football?
Well, it all comes from our owner, Robert Cruz, and his wife, Kelly. They want to give back to the community. It's something that we do. And, we started the You've Got a Friend in the Car business when we opened the Chevy store. And it has taken on a life of its own, and so with us doing so much in the community, it really rings true when you do that. The whole community's got a friend in the car business, and we support a lot of stuff around McDonald House, Carolina Youth Development, the Low Country Food Bank. We have a lot of things that we do, especially with blood drives.
And giving back is very good for the community. As we say goodbye, I got to let you say it.
You've got a friend in the car business on Rivers, just north of Northwoods Mall.
Remember all that offense we were talking about? They've combined for 15 yards in the last 3 drives.
They got tired.
Yeah, they did. Tired of going up and down the field. Demarius Foster went 5 yards back to get back to about the line of scrimmage there.
Who was that on the tackle? Springs has sprung again. Got away with a block in the back there. Springs peels off Norman, steps up, makes a play. By the way, I did some research during the break. Hudson Lee, Wake Forest. He's a lefty on the mound, by the way.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Tops off at 93.
Oh, that'll work. A lefty like that throwing 93. Norman might run 93 miles an hour, especially if he gets into the open field. Bryce Carpenter saves a touchdown as Dorman gets down close to the Patriots' 40.
Bryce Carpenter is the safety net of this defense. He is the last line, and he has come up with some big plays to stop the touchdown, and he does it right here. Great tackle. Puts the head on the outside of the hip.
So Hudson Lee is a 6'5", 255 guy throwing 93 from the left. Penn State could use that kind of pitcher. I don't know if Penn State's going to get that kind of pitcher. 7 yards for Foster.
Number 9, Xavier Sanders. Along number 23, Bryce Carpenter. On the tackle for the Patriots.
Carpenter hobbling a little bit.
Down to the Fort Dorchester 35-yard line where it's second down Dorman.
Tucker hobbling a little bit. It's been a physical game. It's corners and DBs and safeties have been active from the get-go.
Fort almost jumps. Talley, with everything he's got, fires one that's juggled and it's incomplete.
It was tipped and kicked.
Xavier Sanders.
Broken up by number 9, Xavier Sanders.
Tip and kicked, and I thought Aaron Lawrence was going to be there for the interception. Does a nice job getting his body in front of Rogers. This is most certainly the longest Friday Night Rivals game we've been a part of, and one of the most entertaining.
Third down and 4. Foster into the waiting arms of Aaron Lawrence. That's around the line of scrimmage, 4th down. So I didn't say this at the beginning of the broadcast. I may as well bring it up now. Gutschall told Steve LaPrade, because of how much he expected both teams to throw the ball, this was yesterday, maybe 2 days ago, Gutschall told LaPrade he might not get home till Saturday afternoon. So that was his prediction before they even hopped on the bus to come down here.
Well, we are working a little more than 2.5 hours. And still 7 minutes left.
Yep.
By the way, Malik Horlback came in on the far side, kept hustling to finish that playoff.
Got to throw it on 4th. Talley under pressure. Forces one in and finds its way to Rogers. Like the guy there was a ghost, and it goes right through him to Rogers for the first down.
Dorman's coach will say we've turned the ball over too many times. But Talley just seems to know how to put it right on the hands.
22-yard gain on the play.
Ill-advised throws earlier.
Makes it first down Dorman.
But again, just a junior. Did he play last year?
No. They're replacing virtually their whole offense.
So a game like this, good for this team.
22-yard pickup for first down. A&I Fire and Water Restoration making your house home again after disaster strikes. And Dorman making sure they don't get home until sometime around tomorrow afternoon. Cruz Chevrolet drive of the game. Cruz Chevrolet on Rivers. You've got a friend in the car business. This drive will come from the first half. It's a pretty safe bet. That's a fumble recovered by Fort Dorchester, one of 4 turnovers for Dorman. 3 of them came in the first half. It eventually was 4 on 5 possessions. This one led to the Geddes touchdown run. The defensive lineman has 2 touchdowns in 2 games. That score came in the second quarter. Cruz Chevrolet drive of the game. You've got a friend in the car business. Some football scores of note. There's a huge game tonight that's gone final in the ACC Coastal Division. North Carolina was a 5 or 5.5 point favorite. Heisman Trophy candidate quarterback, even though no one's played a game, and Sam Howell He was picked off 3 times in Blacksburg. Virginia Tech beat North Carolina tonight, 17-10. 2 of 3 teams probable to compete for the other division in the ACC opposite Clemson.
Yep.
North Carolina was a very popular pick to win that division. They're behind the 8 ball already. Here's Talley, wrapped at the ankles by Rayshawn Springs. This kid can play, man.
He's tough. Man, he has been hobbling for what seems like the last 3 hours. But you talk about leadership, and when a team circles around its leader, it's when he's hurt, hobbling, and still taking on defenders. The final for Bishop England tonight. James Island with the win.
Good for them.
23-17.
Good bounce back for McCoy and the guys. Flag in.
That's too bad because that play worked really well.
Sure did.
James Island with a young quarterback, young team. Next week we go to
Philip Simmons. So we'll see. Canty and the Bishops. Eric Bending, the head coach of Philip Simmons.
I think he's done a nice job building a program there.
Oh, yeah.
That's Philip with 1 L, by the way.
You know, I even wrote that down correctly on my board. Here's proof. 1 L.
Yeah,
right
you
there.
did. You did
yeah,
good.
Yeah. Second down. Here comes the sweep. Is this Emo?
Yep.
Emo Dawkins. One of 2 Emos, as we came to learn. Emo Fowler brought in a long reception for the Cavaliers earlier tonight.
It's a nice job following his blockers. Got big number 68 out there.
Puts the ball down to the 5-yard line.
DJ Gett putting the Patriot on his backside.
And that makes it 1st and goal, Dorman.
5:50 left. They could be get a little quicker on offense.
1st and goal. This is Foster. Foster slips one and extends, but ends up short. Jaden Porter put the finishing touch on him.
5:50 left in this game, and Fort Dorchester's defense just continues to fly at the ball. Watch when he turns his quarter. Watch how many bodies come flying in, chasing down this play. But I was saying earlier, whatever the final score of this game will be, Coach Gutschall will look at this team and say, we didn't stop. We didn't quit. We shot both of our feet off. But we didn't stop.
The Patriots still have the majority of their first-teamers in there. That's a touchdown for the Cavaliers. That caps their best drive in terms of length. Time, we should say, all night. It's a 70-yard touchdown drive that results in the Foster touchdown. Trident Technical College, your future, your college.
You go back to on the ground. Foster does a nice job. His first run as a varsity player, and showed well tonight. And again, you make this a 10-point game. All you need is a stop and a quick strike, and things change dramatically here in the last 5 minutes of this game.
A couple of timeouts for Dorman. Fort Dorchester only has 1. They have used 2 of their timeouts. So it's a 10-point game, 4:56 to play, just like Dean just pointed out. Now over 400 yards of offense for Dorman. How about our player of the game? Who's it going to be? It's going to be Geddes.
Oh, you're going Geddes.
Because he's been reliable. It's your reliable equipment player of the game. He's been reliable on defense. He's been reliable on offense. And tonight's end zone scissor lift on most nights, provided by reliable equipment.
It's that play which made him most reliable.
Reliable equipment, we rent the good stuff.
I will let Mr. and Mrs. Springs know that I was lobbying hard for their son, Rayshawn.
Yeah, we're not just going to heap praise on quarterbacks who throw the ball all over the yard for multiple touchdowns. Right? That's easy. We're going to give it to a guy who's on both sides.
Now, they've got 6 guys on the short side of the field here.
This would be an exceptionally risky onside.
They're going to do an onside kick here. Fort Dorchester's only got 2 guys on that side of the field.
You can't go onside here, can you?
I don't know, but watch 20. Yeah, no, you don't. You're going to get an offside call.
I don't see a flag. I heard a whole bunch of whistles. You never know what you see when you go to an event. Sometimes you see whistles, no flag, no explanation, and just let's do it again. I mean, look, you got 2 timeouts left. It's a 2-possession game. You kick this thing, you stop them, then you worry about if you got to have an onside kick. I think.
I don't know. I like number 22 coming up the side and then just kicking it here. 7-on-2. You're going to kick it to Ryan Short.
Yes, they will. From the 22, Ryan tries to reverse field and is blown up. Parks, the linebacker who's been active defensively, makes his loudest hit of the night.
Jushan Parks. Well, let's see how Fort Dorchester plays this. A pretty nice tackle.
The last 2 possessions for the Patriots, 3 and out, a grand total of 5 yards.
And they didn't burn a lot of clock.
No. And they turned it over on downs the possession before that.
They go Wildcat here.
They did with their backup quarterback. They stretch it with Smalls, and he's got a first down, 12 yards, close to the 35.
Demetrius McKelvey. McKelvey's going to stay in the game. Again, keep an eye on that play clock. They're just going to go.
Pretty similar looking play. Small stays in bounds, brings DJ Porter out close to the 45. Back-to-back first down runs. That brought to you by A&I Fire and Water Restoration, making your house home again after disaster strikes.
Same play. Pulled. Ryan gets a nice block off the corner. I often wonder, I doubt the coaches go back and watch our broadcast. They have their own film, right?
Yes.
But if I sit here and I go, let's let the clock go to 5, what are we doing here? At some point in time, the assistant coach is going to go, does that Stevens guy want to come down and coach?
I always figured, you were a sports guy and then you became an anchor.
I'm saying,
I always figured that was the right path to get into coaching.
Yeah.
TV sports guy, TV anchor, coach.
Yeah. Lee steps up, makes a nice play on the corner. Yeah. And it's funny, you and I have been doing these games for 4 years or so.
Yeah.
And I did a couple of years before that. And I've yet to receive my first offer to join a staff.
It's shocking. I don't know what everybody else is missing.
I don't know.
I'll make some calls for you.
But I'm just saying, if they'd have taken my suggestion, we'd have been not 3:30 left in the game, but about 2:30 left in the game.
First series that they have changed quarterbacks. They go with McKelvey. Play clock is at 5.
Now, see?
There
we go.
Future in coaching, Dean Stevens. Michael Smalls, like he did on the last couple of runs, doesn't even consider the sideline and moves forward for 12 inbounds.
Did a nice job waiting on his block. And I think that was Desmond Mathis on the outside. But watch him wait and wait and wait. He's got 3 guys on the outside that created the hole. Good patience, great run. Stayed in bounds, clock ticking.
Interesting that, why go to it before I guess? show this package now. You hold this in your back pocket until you need to run some clock. 3 seconds on the play clock. On 1st and 10, Small sweeps left, cuts it inside once again, and is tabletop by Cam Meadows as the clock runs.
And I think that's Tracy White. I was watching Tracy White down on the sidelines, the assistant coach for Fort Dorchester. Uh-oh.
That's, not only is this domination, this is an upset. Because the home team never wins the cheer contest.
There you go.
And I mean never. It may have happened once. Maybe.
There you go.
I like the graphic, though. 99% to 1%, just in case we weren't sure.
It was a landslide.
Yeah. 2nd down. They snapped it with 1 second on the play clock. And continue to chew clock as Hudson Lee makes another stop, and Dorman is forced to call its 2nd timeout with 1:47 to go.
I was going to tell you 2 plays ago when Smalls was taking it around the corner and he got close to the sidelines, you could see Tracy White instructing him, stay in bounds, stay in bounds. Cuts it upfield.
Fort Dorchester has never trailed in this game. They led it 7-0. They led it 14-7. They opened it up to 31-14. It was then a 10-point game at the half. And the most recent Dorman touchdown, the only offensive touchdown of this surprisingly not offensive second half. And now their defense is trying to keep them in the game. This becomes the biggest play of the game. 3rd down and 3, 1:47 left. Can you get the ball back and at least have a puncher's chance? Got to be a big, like Mike Tyson puncher, but there's a chance.
That puncher chance was usually on that first set of downs when they needed Fort Dorchester to go 3 and out. See if they take this to the wide side of the field. They've been running on the short side.
They need the 34-yard line, and number 4 gets that and then some. Running over Cam Meadows to get down to the 22-yard line. 15 yards and a likely game-sealing run for Michael Smalls.
See if Coach Gutschall uses his last time out.
Gain of 10, make that 14 on the play.
Fort Dorchester didn't run the ball much tonight, but when they needed to, they did, and they did effectively.
First down, Patriots.
Every play this drive has been a run. I'm not sure they had 7 rushing plays prior. I could go back and count it up, but I don't see a bunch right off the rip. They probably had about 7 to 10 rushing plays prior to this drive. And this is now number 8 in succession. No one touches Smalls. A touchdown saving tackle at the ankles. Miles Lee. 1st and goal, Patriots.
And this is when the offensive line loves their job. Watch 63 on the outside. The Sion Harper, 6'2", 335, the left tackle.
This game feels like Fort Dorchester leads it by more than 10. They've been in control enough. Dorman's turned it over 4 times. More penalties. The much cleaner football team tonight has been this one. McKelvey's first carry is the 9th consecutive run. It'll be 2nd down and goal if the Patriots even decide to run another play, which they don't have to do.
And they will not. And the indicator is every coach took off their headset. I would say a big win for Fort Dorchester. And I would say a huge learning lesson for Dorman. As we keep an eye on the standings and the rankings this year, I think we can expect to see the guys in the light blue lids make their moves.
Big time win for the Fort Dorchester Patriots tonight. They never trailed.
There will be no football action next week with Fort Dorchester. We are unsure when our next game will be.
Give them 70 more yards, so they put up almost 400 yards of total offense.
What happens with the future schedule
And the Patriots move to 2-0 in a heavyweight matchup of 5A powers, two top 10 teams in the state of South Carolina. Frustration obviously evident for the Cavaliers, who have started the year at 1-2. Our trophy presentation and a wrap of the QFS Transportation Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet, right after this. (38-28) the final score. The Patriots never trail. They led it by 10 at the break. They extended that lead with a scoop and score fumble recovery early on in the third quarter. And Dorman gave themselves a fighting chance with a touchdown here in the fourth. But in the end, it's the Patriots who come away with the win. They are 2-0, the number 2 team in the 5A classification in South Carolina. Not sure who it was, but one of the Patriots was doing backflips. Seriously, as they made their way down towards Trooper Bob for our trophy presentation. And for that, well, send it on down to a happy group of Fort Dorchester Patriots. Probably their toughest regular season game. Pretty tough to argue it. And they won it convincingly with almost 400 yards of total offense and 38 points and never trailed. Trooper Bob is in the midst. Here we go. Told you. That's a linebacker. That's Horlbeck. He's got a cool visor and he does backflips.
Down there with the player of the game and also the coach, Coach Brad. Coach, what's your take on the game tonight? Congratulations on the big win.
I'm just proud of these guys, man. We worked so daggone hard, and Dorman's they're a good football team, and I think we handle them, and I'm really proud of these guys. You know, it's just a start.
Right before the half, I saw one of the players get helped off the field. Is he going to be okay?
Yeah, he's good. Hell, he played the whole second half.
Very good. Congratulations.
We rubbed it.
You rubbed it down. Oh, good. Congratulations on your win, Coach. I got a trophy for you from QFS Transportation. Oh, I thought you wanted to ask me a question. Okay. Congratulations, Coach.
We're in the weight room.
All right.
Good job tonight.
Always entertaining, isn't it? 38-28 Patriots win. Next week, we got Eric Bendig's Philip Simmons Club and John Canty's Fighting Bishops of Bishop, England on our QFS Transportation Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Thanks to all our sponsors for helping make this game and all of our games this season possible. Be sure to check out ABC News 4 at 11 for QFS Transportation Friday Night Rivals. Scott Eisberg, Natalie Spella for Dean Stevens, our director Nick Case, and our entire crew had a lot of fun with you tonight. Entertaining game. I'm Darren Goldwater. We say so long from Fort Dorchester, where the Patriots knock off the Cavaliers 38-28.